32 years after the original, Voltron Legendary Defender has come to resurrect our favorite Paladin pilots, Shiro, Keith, Lance, Pidge, and Hunk. And let's not forget Princess Allura, who's the reason Voltron exists. With new surprises, callbacks to the original, and an all-star cast, this series has gotten off to a smashing start on Netflix, with fans waiting to binge Season 2 before the end of 2016. Hi, my name's JD with ChannelFrederator, and we're here to check out the scoop on these rebooted Defenders. So let's get ready to kick Galra butt, because we've got 107 facts about Voltron Legendary Defender. Let's get started! Number 1. Voltron Legendary Defender is the 5th series in the Voltron franchise, the first being 1984's Voltron Defender of the Universe. Number 2. Much like Voltron itself, the original series was actually a merging of 2 Japanese anime series called Beast King Go Lion and Armored Fleet Dairuga 15, which were, surprise, super robots. Number 3. While the original Voltron was a dub of a Japanese-produced anime, Legendary Defender is actually a piece of Western animation, meaning everything remains consistent through the editing, lip-syncing, and storytelling in general. Number 4. This newest iteration of Voltron is a joint collaboration between the TV division of DreamWorks Animation and Studio Mir, the South Korean studio responsible for animating the likes of the Boondocks and the Legend of Korra. Number 5. Voltron Legendary Defender is the 8th series DreamWorks Animation has created exclusively for Netflix. Some of their other Netflix projects include The Adventures of Puss in Boots and Dawn of the Croods. Number 6. The project is led by showrunners Joaquim dos Santos and Lauren Montgomery, who had previously worked together to bring us 2 of the most modern animation marvels, Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. If you had any doubts about the show beforehand, they should be diminished right about now. Number 7. Legendary Defender marks the first time that Lauren Montgomery and Joaquim dos Santos have served as showrunners on a television series. If you've seen the show, this fact might be hard to believe. Impressive. Number 8. Despite being an American crew working on a property that's a Japanese anime, the team is quite well equipped to create something true to the original, mainly due to the fact that most of the crew that worked on Nickelodeon's Avatar series, the closest thing Americans have ever gotten to make a true, authentic Japanese anime. And even those that weren't there for Avatar are still devoted fans of the art form and have a deep understanding of it. Number 9. During Legendary Defender's earliest stage of development, there were several ideas of what the tone should be. One persistent idea was to make the overall look and feel of the show something akin to the video game Halo. Studio execs also pushed for a more dark and gritty incarnation of Voltron, but this was immediately cast aside by the series showrunner. Number 10. In the end, the team decided to take a similar route to that of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, where they take an epic and ridiculous concept that they not only ground in reality, but can also joke and laugh about how silly the scenarios can be from within the show itself. Number 11. Montgomery and dos Santos set out with the intention of creating Voltron that was closer to what the fans remember the original series to be, as opposed to just riding the coattails of the original and continuing the story. Number 12. But, according to dos Santos, the team wanted to build a show that didn't exclusively cater to the fans of the old series. They saw Legendary Defender as a means to reel in new generations of Voltron fans. He actually sees the older generations of fans bonding with the newer ones over the show, like a father who grew up with the 80s shows sitting down and watching Legendary Defender with his daughter who had just discovered the mythos in the Netflix series. That's sweet. Number 13. Joaquim dos Santos claims his personal biggest influences on Legendary Defenders are the anime series Robotech and the Super Dimension Fortress Macross. He appreciated the dramatic aspects of the show, how it had real relationships between characters, high stakes, and deep consequences that would not just be undone at a later point. Number 14. According to dos Santos, the overall theme of the series is teamwork, but not in the simple way stories usually convey it, like, if we work together, we can accomplish anything. It's more about the team members growing into their full potential and growing together so that they can form the bond needed to be a true team, because what's a team without some bonding? Number 15. While the original Voltron was geared more towards children, the team behind Legendary Defender designed it to be something anybody could watch and enjoy. Number 16. While the premise of Legendary Defender is primarily the same as the old Voltron series, this reboot has more of a focus on fleshed out, serialized storylines with deeper character development. Sounds like a millennial. The writers claim that they didn't handcuff themselves to the original series story arcs, instead opting to create fresh and unique narratives that serve as better fit to their vision of Voltron. Number 17. But the writers did make sure to pay homage to the original show with various references to it throughout the reboot, so you can get nostalgic. Number 18. Legendary Defender takes place in a universe where people are generally unaware of Voltron's existence. This was a creative choice made that would serve as a vehicle to properly introduce and explain the Voltron mythos to new viewers, cause who wants sloppy exposition? Number 19. The only series that the show creators referred back to when developing this show was the original. Other series like Third Dimension or Voltron Force were left out of the equation completely to keep things simple and allow them more creative license. Number 20. Unlike the original series, the Lions of Legendary Defender aren't just mindless vehicles. They've got a certain level of sentiment sentience and personality to them as well. This was done to make the Paladins' ability to pilot their lions something special and unique, not just hopping in and sticking a key into the ignition, but by being chosen. That is cooler. Number 21. The writers looked back at the older series and saw that it treated the pilot of the Black Lion as the main protagonist, while the other lion pilots weren't quite as fleshed out and seemed more like minor supporting characters. To remedy this, they gave each member of the team its own strengths, weaknesses, and quotable lines to ensure that everyone on Team Voltron was not only a fully fledged hero in their own right, but that they were all capable of becoming a viewer's favorite character. Number 22. Tim Hendricks' favorite Voltron member to write for is Lance. Having started out as a comedy writer, Hendricks really enjoys writing jokes for the character. He also loves how deep Lance's character actually is. You know, that he projects his ego because he secretly doubts himself and thinks, what if I'm actually not the best paladin? Number 23. Montgomery and DeSantos believe Netflix's policy of releasing an entire series at once has helped immensely with serialized storytelling. Thanks to platforms like Netflix, the showrunners claim that they can focus on more continuing stories fluidly without having to take the time in later episodes to recap, which often occurs on network television since there is so much time between each episode release. Number 24. DreamWorks Animation was able to provide Voltron team with a goldmine of research materials when development of the reboot began. And by research, we of course mean hordes of comic books and DVDs of the previous Voltron and Go Lion series. Number 25. Voltron Legendary Defender marks the first time in the series' 32-year history that the pilot of the Green Lion is a female character, Pidge, who was previously a male character in all other versions of Voltron that he appeared in. Number 26. The writers decided to take the Samus Aran approach and keep Pidge's gender a secret until revealing it much later. They wanted to show viewers that the gender of a lion pilot didn't matter, and Pidge could be just as effective as a girl versus a boy. Number 27. Lauren Montgomery compares the Voltron universe's quintessence to that of the Force in the Star Wars franchise, claiming that it's what the universe is powered on. The show will focus more on quintessence as it progresses, and as fans begin to pretend they have it. Number 28. Another idea the creative team really wanted to expand upon in comparison to the original series was really owning Voltron's title as Defender of the Universe, and having the team explore more alien planets than they did in the original. They specifically wanted a greater focus on the alien races Team Voltron encounters, as they tended to be more humanoid in nature. Number 29. When redesigning Voltron for Legendary Defender, the artist decided on the look based upon what they called the squint test, which allowed the artist to tweak and update character designs so long as they were still instantly recognizable by longtime fans. Number 30. The artists on Legendary Defender looked to the mechs of Gundam for inspiration while retooling the Voltron universe's own robotic designs. Number 31. Don't get too attached to Voltron's design at the beginning of Season 1. The artists plan on giving it multiple story-driven upgrades that will occur several times throughout the course of the series to spice things up and keep it fresh. Sounds like the iPhone, but hopefully better updates. Number 32. Because the Voltron sequences in Legendary Defender utilize CG animation with 3D models, the show's artists needed to restructure the titular robot's anatomy and build him as if he were a real robot, with all the lions having to mesh together in a realistic manner. Since the original show was hand-drawn, it was easier back then to cheat Voltron's design and anatomy to best fit whatever worked for the shot. Simpler times. Number 33. At one point, the designers contemplated completely redesigning Voltron, to the extent where he wouldn't even be comprised of other lions, or smaller vehicles for that matter. They realized that this wouldn't be the best idea going forward, stating that a decision like that would be comparable to having DC fans choose Batman or Superman, or Marvel fans having to either remove Captain America or Iron Man from the Avengers. You just can't do it. Well, you can, but the internet will burn you at the virtual stake. Number 34. One of the rejected Voltron designs had the Black Lion look exactly like a zebra? Your creative team was just as confused as you are right now, giving the artist who drew it long, awkward, silent stares until she folded and realized her mistake. Number 35. Much to the surprise of fans, it was discovered that Voltron would not be featured in every episode. This is because the writers wanted to spend more time getting to know the team, the pilots, and the lions, and make them more of the central focus of the show, because without them, there is no Voltron. Teamwork, remember? Number 36. According to Montgomery and DeSantos, Voltron is so massive, you could step on Optimus Prime like a boot crushing an ant. They actually scaled Voltron against Optimus when designing him in order to really sell the idea of his massive size to the executives. Number 37. Fans may be disappointed to know that the series' iconic transformation sequence that appeared in just about every episode of the original series is not featured in Legendary Defender at all. Not only was this choice made to differentiate the series, but the showrunners thought the sequence, while iconic, is a product of its time. What seemed like a cool idea back then may not translate well now. Number 38. The showrunners also chose to steer clear of the original series' iconic theme song. Instead, they opted to create something that pays homage to both the original show and sci-fi fantasy genre by incorporating instruments like a heavy retro synth. Number 39. The series' musical score is composed by musician Brad Breek. He created music for other awesome cartoons like Gravity Falls and We Bare Bears. Number 40. Lauren Montgomery said that Pidge is one of her least favorite characters in the original series due to some odd choices made regarding the character. For one, he was a little boy piloting a war machine. It also didn't help that Pidge actually had the voice of a man in the 80s series. Maybe he hit puberty early? Number 41. That being said, Pidge was the main character that the writers spent the most time reinventing. They wanted to make Pidge more than just the tech guy, so they gave her a personal mission to locate her missing family. Number 42. Fung and Pidge's character classes seem very similar, both being heavily involved with engineering and tech. The writers are well aware of this, but they still believe that they're different enough in their own right, referring to the characters as two sides of the same coin. Pidge is the creative, engineering, puzzle solver side, while Hunk is a build it and make it work side, which makes them a pretty good team. Number 43. Shiro is 25 years old, crowning him the eldest of the Lion pilots. Number 44. Pidge is the youngest of Team Voltron at age 14, so basically you can pilot a Lion once you've entered high school. Number 45. While we don't have a specific number, it is confirmed that all the team members, aside from Pidge and Shiro, are in their late teens. Those are the best years. Number 46. Shiro was once captured by the Galra on a mission and was held prisoner against his will. He was heavily experimented on by his captors, the results of which included a weaponized robotic arm. If you remove the pain, torture, and imprisonment from the equation, all in all, not a bad trade. Number 47. Shiro is considered by the creative team to be the spiritual successor to Sven from the original series. Only time will tell if the two characters share the same fate because, 32-year-old spoiler alert, Sven dies in the original series. Number 48. On top of dealing with the stress of being leader of the Paladins, Shiro tends to suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder due to his experiences as a gladiator. When stimulated accordingly, Shiro will be plagued with intense flashbacks, and that doesn't sound fun. Number 49. Keith was orphaned at a young age, resulting in his enrollment in the Galaxy Garrison, which he was later expelled from due to his rebellious lone wolf mentality. There's always a rebel. Number 50. While Keith was the leader of the team in the original series, that's not the case in Legendary Defender. Team Voltron leader is Shiro this time around. Number 51. Whereas Lance has previously piloted the Red Lion in the previous series, he now pilots the Blue Lion instead, meaning his close finally matches Lion. Number 52. When Lance and Hunk sneak out after curfew to go to Pidge's room in the pilot episode, The Rise of Voltron, they pass a staff room in which you can see a man with long blonde hair sitting. This man heavily resembles Roy Fokker from the Robotech Macross franchise. Number 53. While Hunk has established himself as the team mechanic, he's also got a love for food. He can frequently be found examining alien vegetables that he wishes to incorporate into one of his many recipes. Hey, I'll come over for dinner. Number 54. Out of all the lions, the Blue Lion is the friendliest and most accepting of the new pilot, a personality very fitting to its actual pilot, Lance. Number 55. Unlike most iterations of the Legendary Defender, this Voltron's wings detach to form a personal shield. That's pretty cool. Number 56. The Black Lion takes the form of the most critical components of Voltron, the head and the torso. Because of this, the Black Lion requires the most energy from its pilot, who must both be fearless and cunning. Good thing Shiro's at the wheel. Number 57. The Yellow Lion has superior armor and weapons in comparison to the other lions. Quite ironic since it's piloted by the team's resident teddy bear, Hunk. Number 58. The Red Lion is the fastest of all the lions. It's more roguelike than the others and requires a pilot that relies more on instinct than skill. It's almost as if Allura literally built this lion for Keith. Number 59. Thanks to its pilot Pidge, the Green Lion is more technologically advanced than the rest of the lions, possessing unique features like a cloaking device. It's also quite resourceful itself, creating technology on the fly that's beneficial to the team in specific scenarios. Number 60. Alfor created an AI based on his own memories and consciousness to leave behind in the Castle of Lion's computer that would counsel and comfort his daughter. This is identical to what Superman's own father, Jor-El, did for him as part of preparing his son's escape from the doomed planet of Krypton, creating an AI of himself kept within Superman's Fortress of Solitude. Adding to the similarity, Allura is among the last of her kind, much like the Man of Steel himself. Number 61. Not only is Lance's perception of himself a product of his imagination, he's also got a one-sided rivalry with Keith that the Red Lion pilot is completely unaware of. Geez, paranoid much? Number 62. It's been said that Pidge has a better relationship with machines than she does with people. This is because she's focused on her career at the Galaxy Garrison and hopes that one day she'll live up to the greatness that her brother and father achieved. Number 63. Princess Allura is the creator of Voltron, so she feels personally responsible for the success or failures of the team of Paladins, guiding the new team to the best of her ability. Number 64. Princess Allura is the last known living female Altean, while Korra is the last known living male. Unless there are other Alteans hidden out there in cryosleep, they may need to take things out of the friend zone for the sake of their species' survival. Number 65. Korra isn't the only remaining companion of Princess Allura. The space mice that shared the cryotube in which Allura slept formed an unbreakable bond with the fair princess. Allura's memories and mind even enhanced their own intelligence and made them a force to be reckoned with. Number 66. Commander Sendak is actually a newer incarnation of a classic Voltron villain, Commander Urak. Their most similar features are their feline ears, their glowing yellow eye, and their cybernetic red eye. While both of them possess cybernetic arms, Sendak is more prominent than Urak's. Number 67. While the audience may have been shocked to learn that Pidge was actually a girl, everyone else on the team had already figured it out beforehand. That is, everyone but Lance, who was pretty flabbergasted by the the reveal. It's 2016, Lance, get with the program. Number 68. While she is Zarkon's advisor, Hagar has a little bit of power up her sleeve as well, having formed her own coven of druids over the years. When these druids come together, they become the dreaded Rowe beasts. Number 69. Emperor Zarkon has ruled over the Garla Empire with an iron fist for well over 10,000 years. Eat your heart out, Queen Elizabeth II. Number 70. While it's established in the show that Pidge is a girl, the show's promotional material refers to her as a he. Maybe that's to keep the secret. Number 71. Shiro, the pilot of the Black Lion, is played by accomplished voice actor Josh Keaton, who is no stranger to playing the hero, having played young Hercules in the Disney film Hercules and Spider-Man in the Spectacular Spider-Man series. Number 72. The voice of the Blue Lion pilot Lance should sound familiar to all Frederator fans, as he's played by Jeremy Shada, aka Finn the Human from Adventure Time. Number 73. Walking Dead star Steven Yeun traded fighting walkers for a license to pilot the Red Lion, taking on the role of Keith. I'd make that career change too. Number 74. Green Lion pilot Pidge is the latest role for actress Bex Taylor Klaus, who has previously appeared on series like Arrow, Scream, and Netflix's The Killing. Wow, an all-star cast. Number 75. What do Tucker and Dale vs. Evil and Voltron Legendary Defender have in common? They both star actor Tyler Labine, who plays Hunk, pilot of the Yellow Lion. Number 76. The voice of Princess Allura was provided by actress Kimberly Brooks, perhaps best known for her roles of Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams from the Mass Effect trilogy and Barbara Gordon from the Batman Arkham games. Number 77. Voice actor Keith Ferguson was crowned King Alfor for the show. Ferguson is probably best known for his way less dramatic roles as Blue from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Number 78. Allura's trusted advisor Corran is played by New Zealand actor / comedian Rhys Darby, who is known for his work on Flight of the Conchords and What We Do in the Shadows. Number 79. The villainous vocals of Emperor Zarkon are provided by voice actor Neil Kaplan. Neil is no stranger to the realm of anime, having previously appeared in Bleach, Digimon, and Gundam, just to name a few. Number 80. Legendary voice actress Cree Summers gets in touch with her wicked side as Witch Hagar. Summer is pretty familiar with playing a villain loyal to an even bigger bad guy, having played Thanos' adopted daughter Nebula in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy animated series. Number 81. Zarkon's sadistic minion Commander Sendak is played by Jake Eberle, who has contributed his talents to several high-profile video games throughout his career, like Assassin's Creed, Batman Arkham Origins, Far Cry 3, and Halo 4. Number 82. The series actors were guided by voice director Andrea Romano, who has been responsible for mustering some of the best performances in animation. She's worked on both Nickelodeon's Avatar series as well as Batman the Animated Series. Number 83. While some of you may be thinking, they totally cast Jeremy Shada because the creators love Adventure Time, that's actually far from the truth. As it turns out, the showrunners had not seen a single episode of Adventure Time before casting Shada as Lance, meaning Jeremy has become more than just the dude that voices Finn. He nabbed that role just by sheer talent. Number 84. Out of all the Paladins, the creators say Lance changed the least from his original incarnation in Voltron Defender of the Universe. Guess he was just that badass already. Number 85. Jeremy Shada describes Lance as a Captain Kirk wannabe that legitimately sees him as a suave ladies man, but in reality, he's not. Shada said this makes him the perfect fit for the comic relief of the squad. Number 86. Shada stated that his favorite thing about being part of his show was working with his fellow cast members, saying that they really formed a strong bond through the recording sessions and through hanging out and goofing off during breaks, making the characters' chemistry all the more authentic. Number 87. Jeremy Shada said Lance is the easiest role he's ever had to play, mainly because it's the closest he's ever gotten to his normal speaking voice. Also because he doesn't need to frequently scream in a high-pitched voice at the risk of shredding his vocal cords, like he's had to do for other characters. Ouch. That, and he gets to be a little more comedic, which he said is really fun. Number 88. While he never watched any of the Voltron series as a kid, Jeremy Shada did own the toys. Since he had no idea what show they were from, he just created his own adventures for Team Voltron. Number 89. Unlike most of the cast and crew, Bex Taylor Klaus has zero exposure to Voltron prior to joining the cast for Legendary Defender. Since she's done such an awesome job bringing Pidge to life, I think we can forgive her for this technicality, and also commend her for that talent. Number 90. According to showrunners, the character that's changed the most from the original series is Corran, and that's largely thanks to Rhys Darby. The original character was more of an expositional, stuffy worrywart. Through his performance, Darby has removed the stick that once inhabited Corran's butt, making him much more fun and dimensional. Number 91. In writer Tim Hendricks' humble opinion, Shiro is probably the hardest role to act out from a writing perspective, so Shiro was the most difficult for the voices to cast. As the leader, Shiro tends to have more of the serious and more drawn-out dialogue that appears cheesy on the page. It was up to Josh Keaton to take dialogue that can easily go south when read and make it sound absolutely epic. Number 92. Josh Keaton originally used his natural speaking voice for Shiro, but the crew thought it sounded too similar to the voice of Keith's voice actor Steven Yeun. They asked him to speak in a lower register to differentiate the two and make Shiro sound more authoritative. Number 93. Much like Keaton did for Shiro, Tyler Labine auditioned for Hunk using his natural speaking voice. He was later instructed to incorporate more immaturity into his performance because his natural voice sounded older than the character's age. They settled on a voice that sounded panicked and worried. and that's a first. Encouraging immaturity? Another job I'd love to have. Number 94. Josh Keaton feels he relates to Shiro in the respect that he is a father figure to Team Voltron, whereas in real life, the actor is a father and was a very different person before fatherhood than he is today. Through his journey into parenthood, he learned patience and other traits that will allow him to better raise his children. Much like Shiro must help his own team reach their own potential. Number 95. Keaton has stated that while the other members of Team Voltron are pretty well acquainted at the start of the series, Shiro's relationship with them is a bit more foreign, mostly due to the age gap between the team and their leader. Luckily for Shiro, his good reputation at Galaxy Garrison has allowed him to both inspire and win over the respect of his team. Number 96. Josh Keaton believes that a show like Legendary Defender has the benefit of having a more organically flowing narrative than it would have had on broadcast TV. This is because the original Voltron would need to force cliffhanger moments before its commercial breaks, which in and of themselves would break the flow as well. Number 97. Rhys Darby said that the cast and crew had made a conscious effort to bring a more comedic element to the Legendary Defender, something the original series severely lacked. Darby believes that the presence of comedy gives the character a more human element, thus making them more realistic and relatable to the audience. Number 98. Neil Kaplan's voice acting for Lord Zarkon was so effective, it actually gave the fellow cast members the creeps during recording sessions. To make up for it, Kaplan was sure to give the cast members of Team Voltron hugs at the end of every day. Number 99. Neil Kaplan doesn't believe Zarkon is evil, claiming he merely wants to obtain the Alliance to shape the universe in a way that he believes would be most beneficial for its continuation. He's a firm believer in the saying, the villain is always the hero of their own story. Number 100. Neil Kaplan said that the show is best enjoyed if you allow yourself to be detached from the original series and look at Legendary Defender for what it is, and that if your expectations are subverted and your attitude is neutral, you will be treated to great characters with deep, meaningful narratives. Number 101. Contrary to popular opinion, Neil actually finds voice acting more of a challenge than physical acting, mainly because you rely on your imagination alone to picture and immerse yourself in the scene, and then use your voice alone to give a genuine performance. Number 102. Neil compared the quality of the voice cast to the gears of a machine, meaning that they all ran perfectly in sync with each other with none of the actors ever stepping on each other's toes. It's one of the few times he did a voice acting gig and didn't get confused by which character was speaking during a table read. The actors had made the characters diverse and well developed enough to make a significant difference. Number 103. Neil believes there is a huge benefit to recording an original animation versus dubbing an anime from overseas. In original animation, they record the dialogue first, which allows the actors to add more personality to their character by speaking at their own pace and incorporating their own vocal traits and mannerisms. But in traditional dubs, the voice actors are rushing to keep up with the present lip sync that the Japanese created for their own dub. Number 104. Voltron Legendary Defender was released exclusively for Netflix on June 10th, 2016, with 11 episodes for fans to binge at their heart's desire. Number 105. Saying that Voltron Legendary Defender was well received is a big understatement. They received a 100% rating from Rotten Tomatoes with an average 4.6 out of 5 rating from the site's users. Number 106. Like every other animated series in existence, Voltron Legendary Defender will have a comic book spin-off running simultaneously with its Netflix run. And finally, number 107. Ironically, as of right now, there are no plans to create a Japanese dub of Legendary Defender to release in Japan, but the creators believe anything is possible. If the show is successful enough, Netflix may have the inclination to go through with it. Okay guys, thanks for watching 107 facts about Voltron Legendary Defender. Which pilots are your favorite? What do you think they should have kept from the original? Comment below and let us know. We have new videos dropping every week, so let us know which animated film or TV show you want us to cover next. And if you like getting more from your cartoons, subscribe to ChannelFrederator. Because remember, Frederator loves you.